Good morning. Can you see me? I'm up here in the corner. How's everybody doing? I have my coffee. Good morning, Craig. I'm going to take these off now because I don't need them. I just wanted to make sure that the intro was playing because now it's going to be quiet except for my squeaky rattan chair. Um, what I thought that I would talk about today is ring planners. Now, a lot of people prefer ring planners because in a bound book, if you get a dated planner, you have to be responsible enough to use it. So a lot of people will buy these wonderful, like the Hobonichis, etc., and then end up not using it the way that they thought they were going to use it. And so a ring planner kind of gets you away from that, where if you don't use a page, that's fine, rip it out, throw it away, and you don't have to think about it again. But like in the back of a Hobonichi planner, every day is dated. Let me put it here where you can see it. Every day is dated. And if you know that you're not going to fill this out, you are going to set yourself up for failure. And there's also those who believe that if you skip pages, it's a bad thing. You know, you're not sticking with your hobby or your planning in life. And there are other people like me who are like, well, if I skip a page, who cares? I'll just have a blank page. It doesn't matter. But to get away from that conundrum, you can just be in a rings planner and put in it whatever you want. My height button's laying over here. I don't want to hit it. Can everybody hear me okay? I used to prefer a ring, but I've been loving my desk agenda now. It's just easier for me. Okay, so you put a notebook in your desk agenda from Louis, an A5. I don't have one of those. Um, I do have an A5, and it's considered what's called the desk agenda, where you just leave it on your desk, and it's the same size basically. Now, see how much slimmer this is, because this is one of my old Hobonichis. And this is Hobonichi. This is the Hobonichi cousin, which comes in A5. Now, they also make one called the Weeks that fits in this, and this is basically a large wallet size. So that's really cool. But what happens with like the planners that you want to take on the go, for me, I was in this planner for years and years, and this is called the personal size. And currently, I carry this one. This is an A6, and there's a notebook in here that I take notes on. And then this is the inserts from a Hobonichi Techo, the regular A6 one. And you can punch them and put them in here if you prefer a ring planner. So they fit nicely. But this planner, I made this from one like this. This is meant to cover the Hobonichi Techo A6 size. And the reason that I did that is I took that, this planner was just like this one, and I put the rings in it. I ordered the rings from Moterm and put them in myself, because the A6 that I ordered from Moterm is this big for the same size inserts. So I created this one, which is much smaller, takes up a lot less room. You can see, I mean, it's just a huge difference. So while these are cute and everything, I wanted veg tan leather. So I didn't invest in the veg tan leather with Moterm until I I wanted to try them out first. And I'm glad that I didn't, because this is huge. This is bigger than my personal by far. Takes up more room. And it's an A6. It's supposed to be a size smaller, but it's not. So this is a personal size by them. It's supposed to be the same size as this. But as you can see, this is going to take up a lot more room. That's them lined up. In fact, this is so big that I have a B6 planner that I'm currently using. It's replacing my Hobonichi cousin. It's the Plans by Just Scribble. And I'll get more into this so that you understand here in a second. But this personal is so big, I de-ringed it, and my B6 fits in it. Which it shouldn't. It's supposed to be bigger. But it makes a nice cover for it. And we'll get back into this in a minute. So these are the main sizes. The main sizes is the A5, the personal, and the PM, which is, you can de-ring, which I did with this one. Everybody's really confused right now, but I'll fix it. This is a passport size planner from Sterling Ink. And this is my 2024 one. Let's get to and that's how big your monthly layout is. So I de-ringed, I bought this one on the cheap because it was ripped, fixed it. And then if you want a really small planner with it's all predated and everything, that's so cute. It'll fit in any bag, almost any bag. It's not going to fit in the Dooney Duck bag, but it'll fit in almost any bag. Okay. So I'm going to put up some, I'm going to go over here to, I put up some sizes here so you could see the A5 rings, which is this one. It's 583 across here, and then 8. It's like basically an 8x5, but a little bit bigger. This is the size of the inserts, not the size of the planner. And then the personal, which is this, is 375 by 6.5. That's the size of the inserts. Then there's also a personal wide, which I have one because I tried it for a while too. Let's see how large it is. Let me take that down for a second. It's just huge. It's as big as my A5 because it's the Moterm version, and they make their planners bigger. I think that Moterm and Spek are the two companies that make them a little larger like this. And then there is your page in a personal wide. Let me put that back up, and then we have another one we're going to look at too. And then the A6 is actually wider than the personal wide. It's more of a square. And so if you look here, it's actually wider than the personal, but the personal is taller. So it's supposed to be more of a square. So these pages are kind of more squared off. Of course, I'm showing you and you can't see because I have that up. And then there's the pocket size. Let me take that down. But I noticed that chart did not include the B sizes. Well, what are the B sizes? I don't know. I didn't do all the research on it, but I did load this graphic because these are the different kinds of planners that people use. The traveler's notebooks work like, I have a little Pee-wee planner here. I'm not sure what's in it. Anyway, they're the kind that have the traveler's notebook set. They're the kind that have these straps, and you can put all sorts of separate books in them. So you can get a really thin book and, set it up however you want. use it for whatever you want. People really get into the traveler's notebook. I don't have a regular standard traveler's notebook because I've never really been into these. The standard is the most popular right here. Here's the B6 size. Ringbound also has B6. And here are the Hobonichi size. This is, well, that's the big one like I have. And then there's the Weeks, which is the one that looks like a wallet. And then there's a mini size. Anyway, so there's that. And I like having both. What I like to do is, for me, I like to have one. These are my currents. I like to have one that I can take with me on the go and write in and stuff. And I used to carry the little one that I just lost in my purse, the one that's this size. But when you're sitting at a coffee shop or whatever and you just want to do some planning, the A6 for me is the better size. So I decided to go ahead and go with the A6, and I got a new planner, which I unboxed on my live last night, which is an A5. It's a little bit bigger than this one, but it's by no means as big as Moterm makes the same size planner. It's just there's a lot of difference if you're trying to carry this around. So I need to set this one up with the inserts that are in here. And the other one that I have stays home. This is my B6, and it's basically my journal. And I also can plan in it too. So I thought I would show you. It starts today. I am starting over, but I have been playing in it, and I played in it last week. Let me go back to messages. Yes, based on the internal dimensions. The biggest problem with ring planners, if you want to buy pre-printed inserts, or if you want to buy an A6 planner on Amazon, I can tell you that Amazon sellers do not know the difference between an A6 and a personal. So you have to read the dimensions. They will send you a personal instead of an A6. They think they're the same thing, and they're not. So I'll show you the difference in the rings for starters. These are personal rings. And these are A6 rings. Now, you can get these as big around as you want in either size, but as you see, they do not line up. They don't line up. So if you order inserts and you don't specify, another thing that I'll tell you, when you go online, I went to the Paper Starfish and several others to download some inserts like this. See, here's an online shopping list, and this is from the Paper Starfish. When you order this, she will send you a message saying, this is real A6. Are you sure you want A6? Because there's so much confusion between the A6 and personal. So I had to write back in the messages and say, yes, I know it's A6. I want real A6. So they call it like real A6 instead of what you might order off of Amazon, which could show up and then it won't fit in your planner. So just before, if you wanted to get into planning and paper planning, I know a lot of people do it digitally, but I just don't think that's any fun. This is kind of like a hobby craft too. And you can spend as much money or as much time as you want, or you can spend none and just get a notebook and make your own thing. And any bound notebook that you get, maybe besides a little spiral like this, you can have like Kinko's and like like that. And they can cut it to any size that you want. So there's always that option. Because the bound books, a lot of people do cut them off, especially those who like the Hobonichi, or they want to. I've seen people cut a weeks down to make it more like an A6, and it just cuts the bottom. They cut the bottom and the top off, and then use it that way. People manipulate planners all different ways. That's kind of the fun of it, which is why over time you you find you end up with a lot of planners. I've been exploring this year a lot, Hobonichi cousin, but when this B6, this is more of a perfect size for me. So I'm going to start talking about this one. This is just my home planner. This only covers 6 months, and it's pretty thick because this has thicker paper than the cousin. This is a full year in the cousin. And this is 6 months in this B6. They're about the same. But it has thicker paper, which makes using all of my pins more fun. And let's see. This I'm going to start using tomorrow. This is my books. I just finished this one. I just finished this one. I'm currently reading this one and this one. I'm always reading a fantasy and nonfiction at the same time. I just can't get away from nonfiction. Also, if you read the Legend and Lattes series, the new book is out. Well, it's on pre-order now. So the Legends and Latte series, if you want to totally escape from reality, it won't make you cry. I can't say the same about the Assassin's Blade. There's one chapter that makes you cry. But Legends and Latte, that series, that is a cozy cottage series. It's really nice. I've saved these pages because I'm not sure. This is to write down what I get in planning supplies so I can keep hold of it. I order from JetPens. I order from Yoseka. I order from, if anybody wants to know what any of these are, I'm going to list everything that I'm mentioning down in the description box when I'm done. And I order from the Coffee Monsters Co. That's Helen Wang. She's awesome. She's the artist that started her business in high school. Oh, we got to follow Helen through college, and now she's back home in British Columbia. So, you get anyway. So I started my bag videos the Friday before last, and I said this last night. And in my next one, will mention what I'm keeping, selling, or trading. The trade or sell, you haven't seen all these bags in my video, but behind the scenes, the ones with the X's are things that I've already mailed out. All in trades. I haven't sold anything. So, and then I have a wish list. And then I'm going to do the same thing with all of my planner supplies. Some of this I've already gotten, haven't marked off. I got a green Twisby. I got some green ink. I got a gillio. And I got my over-the-ear Bluetooth headphones because I like to listen to music and stuff when I'm playing. It's the most fun I have in me time is playing with all the planners and the stickers and all of that. This is my health journal. I have some goals, and I'm not gonna go ahead and fill them out for August and September because they may change. So, but I know that that's what I'm going to be doing for the next month anyway. And these I sat and decorated when I was in Miami. So Jackie says, see, I can plan, but then I never look at the plan. Yeah, you got to be kind of, a lot of people who plan either do what you do, they write down the plan and then they never go back to it, or there are some that who I watch who will call their planner their emotional support planner and they take it with them everywhere they go. So yeah. Thank you, Craig. And then this is YouTube for the next, but this is just an overview. And as you can see, these little brown dots are all of the days where I have shorts uploaded. Well, you get more and more creative the more you do this. It's a hobby. It's really a hobby. So yeah. Ooh, that's me. And then I'm still saving a few pages, and I have been planning in here. And this is what we did last week. We filled out the July. Well, we put decorations on the July. And I have an appointment next month. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. Probably just a journaling page. And then this is like you would turn. This is the weekly, and this is why I went into this planner. I love the Hobonichi Weeks, but it's too small for what I want to record. So this is more like an everything dump journal. So you can put all of your weekly plans here on the week. This is set up like the weeks. This is like, if you open up the Hobonichi Weeks, this is what you see. This would be on your right page and this would be on your left page. But then in the B6, now you have all of this. And the maker of this is a has a YouTube channel, and it's called Just Scribble. And so she designed this, and she had put in tick list and then a place where you can just do a little journaling over here or whatever you want to use it for, and then more tick lists down here on things that you do daily. So yeah, I think this will work a lot better than the cousin, because everything is together. Like the cousin has all of the months in the front, then all of the weeks in a bunch, and then all of the year at the end. What this does is here's your week, here's your week. You lay out your week. Then here's Monday, Tuesday, and it goes into, and then you go to the next week. So your weeklies and your dailies are all together instead of being separated. And there's also, in the cousin, you have, this is all timed on this. You have a time running down this page if you want to use it. And then it repeats again on the daily. Well, I didn't understand what I was supposed to do here, because you have, like, if we're talking about the 15th, you have this time list of everything that you're going to do in the weekly. Then you turn to the daily page, and here's another time list. I mean, how much are you going to, So a lot of people just ignore this and do their journal back here. I have turned this into my junk notebook and my morning pages, where I'll just sit down and write and scribble and brainstorm. And this is back when I was using it as my journal. So it's not going to waste. Nothing ever does. If once I fill that one up, I'll take a notebook that I didn't finish from another year, another bound notebook, and I'll just start writing in it, because I date my pages. I'll just mark out the date. I don't mark out the date. I just write the date that I'm writing in there. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about today was, you know, all those different ring sizes and how confusing it can be. So all of these, what seems like a silly little hobby has turned into a confusing big business. That's why there's so many planner channels, because um, a lot of people prefer different ways to plan. There's still the Erin Condren system. There's FCC planning, which you can move in, which is a ring planner system, but it has its own ring set up and it's its own special thing. And then, and then there's Traveler's Notebooks people, and their channels are usually very aesthetic. They're really into browns and tans and beige. If you don't like color, Traveler's Notebooks, yeah, they're really fun to watch. And another thing that I like to work on is my handwriting, because it's something that's going by the wayside. If you notice, your kids cannot write as well as you. And my mother has beautiful penmanship. And I have never, ever got to be as good as a writer as she was. Of course, when I went to kindergarten, they had me sit on my left hand. So, Jolie, have you ever tried disc agendas? I did once. My planner kept falling apart. I did. Um, I tried the Happy Planner before I tried Erin Condren. This was years ago. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the disc. If you like to flip your notebook completely backwards and only have one page up, it works like a spiral. But the disc, I mean, it's paper on a disc, and I don't have one because they frustrated me so much. I got rid of it all. But it's a little disc, and you have to have a special punch, and it puts little slits in your paper to go on the disc, and yeah. It was just frustrating. I didn't like it. And then when I first on this channel, I did use some Erin Condren when I first got back into planning. If you want to learn how to plan in baby steps, Erin Condren is a good place to start because everything is laid out for you. And then like these planners just come plain, and you can do with them whatever you like, takes more imagination. So it's kind of like you go from Happy Planner or me, this is just for me. A lot of people stay in those planner systems. I just didn't like not having the freedom. And I really like finding cool art that other YouTubers have made. Especially Helen's stuff. I've been following her since way back. And her stickers are all small and cute, and you can use them for anything. And yeah, I just like the aesthetic of it. But yeah. So this is like on the go stuff, and I'll have like running to-do lists or whatever. And this I can lay out like my week and record things. But what's going to go in this planner is what happened, not what will happen. Because you can write down all these goals for every day and say, I'm going to do this here, I'm going to do this, whatever. And now you've written it down, and what if it doesn't get done? Well, then now what do you do? Cross it out, put it on the next week or the next day or whatever. So this is usually a log of what did happen instead of what's going to happen. So, yeah. Do any of you plan? And what kind of systems do you use if you do plan? Do you want to get into planning and don't know how? Anyway, so you can always start like these little pen and gears. They're like 70 cents, maybe less. It's 80 sheets. But these pen and gears can take any kind of pen. You can write in here with anything. So they're good little note things to have on the go. So instead of having this, I could just have this and go into here too. But I want to do this. I want this. And that's why I bought the new one. This is my wide. Why my wide nibs? This is a TWSBI fountain pen. Anyway, we'll get into fountain pens on another day. Yeah, so I want to be able to carry this in my bag with me. It comes with these things, and what those are for is to protect your binder here from the rings. But I'll probably take them out. They're just little tabbed things that you slide in here. More weight, more bulk. And then what's really nice about this one is, other than it being just wonderful leather, is that it has the flyleaf, a nice thin flyleaf with an extra pin loop so that you can have more than one pin. And whenever you order from Gillio, they send you a pin. You get to pick the body color and the color of the metal. And I had already ordered this, and then I saw it was silver, and I was like, oh, I should have got silver. But it's fine. And this was a pre-built one. They had like 4 of them. And then it has the large pocket in the back for your doctor's orders that you don't want to lose. And your lab orders. And if you aren't dealing with that yet, good on you, because I do. But anyway, I'm going to set this up today. And this will go in my purse. This is my on the go. And there are some pages over there in a drawer that I'm going to add to this. But for now, I'm just going to move these over. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I could, Craig, I know what you're saying, because I could do without, but then some things just wouldn't get done. Like, I know that Monday is bathroom days, and I add declutter to that. I try to find 5 things in the bathroom that that I can throw away. But what I have been doing is these are some monthly tabs. I want this set up monthly. I haven't in the past, but I want this set up monthly. And what I've been doing is moving it so that the month that I'm currently in is on top. But I think I'm going to change that and put them in order when I put them in here. And I want my meal planner and stuff and online shopping and all this stuff to be in here. And then as it finishes, it'll go to my journal. I consider the other one my journal. And this one's like my planner. Like, this is the month of June. For YouTube. Just having, these little channels. It's a lot of time, but this is just an overview of stuff. Like, unless you're like Jackie and just come home and turn on the computer and sit down and start talking. And she's a wizard at that. She has a gift. All right. I've started doing this too on my daily list. I have my schedule, and every day I write down what I actually did versus the list. Yeah. We can make all these wild and wonderful We have all these wild and wonderful ideas, and then either health or circumstance gets in the way. Um, this, what's fun about rings is you can make your own, like, page, like your own section. You can decorate the hell out of it, is basically what I want to say. You can just really go hog wild and just do whatever you want. You can put family photos and all kinds of stuff. This is bare bones, what I have in here right now. It will get decorated, and I really, really am digging this planner, and I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of my other ones. So, and then just, this will last for a long time. This is veg tan leather, by the way, and I don't know how they dyed it like that. That's not my business. I just think it looks good. And you know, we're purse people, so we dig good leathers. Well, some of us do. Some of us are really into the leather part of it. That started when I was a teenager. Man, I wanted a really nice leather bag. And I ended up getting one from birthday money that my dad gave me. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was 15. And I got a nice leather bucket bag from Dillard's. And was it Dillard's? I think it was. And I didn't know any names of any bags at that time. Never paid attention, except for, like, at the time, Ocean Pacific and Lightning Bolt were big where I lived because I grew up in Florida. So, and those were just nylon bags. I had one of those too. I had a lightning, I think it was a bolt, a lightning bolt. And it didn't have a handle on it. It was just a clutch, but it was a wide clutch. It was shaped like a kind of like a triangle, and the top was just like all the other bolt stuff. It closed with Velcro, like all the gym shorts, all the surf shorts, I mean, and all the men's, or boys, I would say, wallets at the time were all Velcro. And so they had girls' handbags that were also the same. They were made out of the same material. So I'll put this in my purse, and I will put, like, cards over here that I don't use all the time, and all my medical information. And I have some orders that I've actually misplaced because I didn't have them in my back pocket, because this one doesn't have a back pocket. Oh yeah, it does. But I didn't take this when I went to the doctor last. And I just need to start, because I misplaced things. It might be in a drawer somewhere. I won't forget. And then I forget where it is. Oh no, last night you said they were kind of pricey, but if you buy luxury planners, LV, Chanel, Hermes, these are cost-effective alternatives. They are. These, and I think they're actually nicer and have more options. Like, these are in the couple $100 range. These, Gillio also has veg tan. This is I mean, not Gillio, Moterm. This is Moterm, and this is called apricot, but it's as close to an undyed Gillio as you can get. So these are in the couple $100 range. These are under 100. They're in the 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 range, depending on what you get. And like, this is like the most expensive kind, is the veg tan leather, which is this. And I'm so glad. This was my favorite planner outside of my LVs. And I'm so glad that it just happened to work out that this fits in here. How nice. But I haven't really set it up yet. I was just playing, took the rings out of it. I was committed that I was going to go to A6. And so all my other planners, you know, like this A6 one, and I have a white one, that's going to be sold along with most everything else, because I just want to go down to these two, and then this one sits on my desk. This is my and this is, I gotta turn to a page, there's nothing written on it. Ooh. Because this is contacts. Oh my gosh, where's an empty page? Well, this one's completely blank. But I just put pages in here, and I had some old planner tabs that I turned around and put the alphabet on with my what do you call it? Label maker. And then these are all my contacts. And it also has all of my, like, the guy that fixes the refrigerator, the guy that works on the water system, all of that. That's all in here. And then when I do projects around the house, that's when I pull this out, because it'll stay home and it'll have projects in it. Big projects. Yes. And also on the Gillio site, you pick how the layout is. You pick everything. You pick your card slots, all of this. Not on this one, though, because this one was pre-made. It was a special thing. They had limited supply of this camo veg tan leather. And so they made up some planners, some agendas, and they put them on their site for sale. And I just thought it was, I'm ex-military, so I just thought it was the cutest thing. And you pick whether or not you have a back pocket. You can pick how many snaps you have and all of that. But this one was pre-made, so it just came like this. And I didn't even know when I ordered it. I just thought it was so cute. I didn't even know if it had a back pocket or not. And I was so glad that it did. And then these are lined with leather. You can see that. And then this Moterm version, this is lined with a really crappy, which I've opened this because I de-ringed it, but kind of a really, really shreddy, awful cloth. So yeah. But if you don't mind what the inside of the pocket looks like, they're pretty good. A lot of times, though, their leathers won't exactly match up. You can see the different textures there. This was more pebbled. This is, there's not as much attention to detail with these, but they are fantastic if you just want to start, before you really get into it. And some people stay in these because they also sell like the rings and stuff separately. So you could, if you start out like really fat rings and then you decide, well, I want the 23s. They're like that, and you can switch them out. You just got to rip the back part like I did. But yep. So I'm going to put the sizes back up for a second. So you can see how this might be too small if you want to write anything. And this is a good size, but it's really skinny. And the A6 for me kind of fell in between as the perfect carry-along size. You got a little bit more width, but just less height. And I have big handwriting. So I love the camo too. And I would love if the Rogue from Coach, if they didn't screw up the inside like they do, I would have loved to have the one that's for sale now. It would match my planner, but instead I got the canvas one because the canvas one's more wide open. So And that is my presentation for today. And then next week I'll get more into planning and housework and getting things done around the house by using your planner. But today was all on rings, 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 rings. I have so many. During Vlogmas, I'll probably give some away. I'm keeping stuff aside for Vlogmas, bags and planners, and then I'm gonna put them in blind bags and give some stuff away this year. I think I'm only going to do 12 days, like every other day, instead of doing every day, because that's, yeah, unless I record them all in advance. A lot of people cheat and record them in advance, but I don't like to do that because something could happen in the news or in the world, and then what are you putting up a video that doesn't include like an important event that may occur? And I've never felt like that before, but we're in different times now. So, yeah. So these are my planners for this is my mid-year planner update. These are the two that I'm using. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to go now. Bye-bye. No, don't play the handbag outro. Why does this thing get so confused?